Hello YouTubers, my name is X Factor, and today we're going to talk about and share some thought processes behind probably the most controversial map of this Dragon's Teeth expansion. This is Pearl Market, 64-man Zerg style Conquest. Chainlink is an absolute mess as well. A little bit more of a linear version of this. The rooftops are still in play. And of course, Capture the Flag and Rush is a much more pared down version of this. But with Conquest, you get the full deal. Rooftops, stairways, windows, multi-level exposures like that right in front of me. There's a rooftop. There's two windows to the left. There's a garage and another window and a rooftop to the right. We're also going to talk about how important it is to utilize the AMTRAC and not go ape shit into enemy territory with this thing. The hardest thing to get used to on this map is reading enemy movements. You guys always see me access the major map because I have a tilt wheel. Not only do I have a scroll wheel on my Conquest XTD, but I also have a tilt wheel. That allows me to toggle my mini-map size, which I do often, depending on what kind of situation I'm getting into. Like right now, I'm getting to a close quarter situation. I want those bigger. And then if I want to have a larger scale picture, I zoom it out. And if I want the full picture, where their vehicles may be if they're spotted, I use the full major map by the other way, the tilt wheel. This is what you want to avoid. You want to avoid their AMTRAC at all costs, because usually if you're deep in enemy territory, you have one flag flashing, you're not going to be getting a lot of help, and you're basically in their spawn. You have to worry about guys that spawn back at their deployment right on top of you. They're going to spawn as engineers, they're going to spawn as support, they're going to spawn with mines and slams as we do the AMTRAC shuffle here. But it's okay, just a flesh wound. So use this thing sparingly. Try to take it to a point and not go ape shit, not try to go charging in. There's a couple times where I drive it, try to put up in a situation and a position where I can help support my players as I look at the major map again, trying to figure out where I want to go. And another great thing about the Desert Eagle, and there's the unlock right there for the right shield, is it can pop the slams and the mines. So I'm trying to figure out where I can position this. Now I gotta be careful here. If people don't spawn on me in trouble, because guess what? They can just drop C4 off the rooftop, slams off the rooftop, but we need another flag quickly. At that point in time, we only had one flag, and one was kind of flashing, and that's bad. You could very easily get pigeonholed on this map, and that's part of the problem with this map. It's absolutely beautiful. All the details, the lighting, the colors, the advertising, everything is absolutely gorgeous. The attention to detail is amazing. But let's talk. There's everything from stores to garages, all kinds of rooftops, all kinds of back cuts, side cuts, alleyways. Is it too much? Secure an area, look one way, look another way, turn a corner, C4 in the stairway, or you clear a couple windows out, or so you think you're trying to cap a flag, and guys start popping out because they're camping the window spaces above. That seems to be the problem with this map, because it's very hard to just fight from flag to flag because people are simply everywhere. And that is the dreaded ass shot, and we are in a lot of trouble. He's below half health, and he's charging into a spotted AMTRAC. That seems to be the common theme of what happens to the AMTRAC. And here's an example of client-side positioning. That 10 is on my screen in that position. I guarantee you that 10 was not on his screen in that position. That's kind of one of the downfalls of some of the stuff in Battlefield that does go boom. Much like the stuff did in Bad Company too. But in Battlefield 4, they switched it just a little bit. A lot of it is client-side. It is not server-side. And here I put the actual AMTRAC on the burn. No one's with me. We're down to one flag again, and I'm seriously parking it on the cap point. And I've got a pretty good angle between the secondary and, of course, the splash, the primary. I can kill people behind corners. And you're going to see a couple examples of that right here. Somebody's either trying to peek me or health up from behind the bus, or he simply got revived. And you can see how quick the secondary can kill people at the medium and longer range. A lot of people forget about that. They just spam primary at those longer ranges. It's really hard to hit. They miss and waste a ton of ammo. And on any map, I fight from flag to flag and try to get there as quick as possible. But you usually run into that. You run to big clumps of people, and I'm reminding our team, hey, we're in the lurch of being overturned here. We had a comfortable lead, and it's been kind of tooth and nail. Fight on flag, stay alive. So when you're winning the burn, just like we are until there, because people start going crazy and peeking, if you're winning the burn, try to play super defensive, because you have at least one more person than they have. And right there, the spawn invulnerability. I was waiting. I simply waited too long. You have more people than they do. So why go out and peek and just get mowed down like those two guys just did? Play super defensive, turtle up, and this point is absolutely crazy. This is one of the rooftop points. You can see they can get out on the balcony, they can drop down, they can come up multiple stairs, you can be completely surrounded. And here we are losing the burn. And that's a spot where I probably should not have revived because there are people still around, but I needed somebody else on burn and to basically bait out. If I take my gun out of my hand, I'm surely going to die. It's a risk. Even if I give that guy a half revive and I get my gun back in the hand, the delay to be able to pull the trigger and go ADS is simply too much, and that is a pretty nasty spot. I'm simply trying to stay alive on the berm. This is a common thing that people do when playing Conquest. Stay alive, make them come to you. Another thing I want to talk about that I've noticed a lot in these new maps is, yes, it's great that people are pushing flags and capping flags and contesting them, but it usually takes a lot more people to push a flag than it does to defend a flag. And what usually happens is when the flag's burning, you're sitting in that spawn screen, and you have the option to spawn ahead on your squad mate, spawn back at the deployment, or the AMTRAC. It seems to me that not enough people are spawning back on the flags that are flashing, the ones you possess. And let me ask you this. Is it easier to spawn in on a flag that's flashing, or is it easier to attack a flag moving from a flag or from your squad mate? So when attacking, you've got to go through the throes of the infantry. And again, my head is on a swivel. They can be absolutely anywhere and everywhere at any given time, just like this. Too many. That's me trying to attack. But when you spawn in, you might have an idea. Commander might be out. They might be spotted. You might have an idea that there's a vehicle there. And you spawn in around the catboard and shooting fish in a barrel. And, by the way, you can bang people through these things. I really don't know the purpose of them. Other than that, you simply just can't run through them. So if you see somebody on the other side, just give them the old tap in the dome piece. So when you spawn in to defend a flag, it's flashing. You have the advantage. You might spawn in on top of them. You might have that verticality. And that's a nice thing to have on this map. And it might only be one person. Maybe no one spawned on them. Because, again, it seems to me that a lot of people are loitering in between flags, attacking flags, but not enough for defending. I've showcased that several times where, during my live stream last night, I tried to spawn in on a flashing flag every time, and I would see groups of 2 people, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, and sometimes it only took one more. I'd get 2, 3, or 4 kills, but that one guy standing was a medic and just revived everybody, or they neutralized their flag and we didn't get the opportunity. Pearl Market is an absolute cluster. The question is it too much with all the different verticality, the windows, the back cuts, and all the alleys? What do you guys think? As always, YouTubers, thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you soon.